5 minutes into the game. The whole moment changed my whole career.
Wait. Just
changed my whole career because I remember thinking, whoa, I can actually do this.
Wait. Man, he just said he took the ball off Luis Figo. I think it was a world record fee, one of the or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was the most expensive player.
And then ran past Roberto Carlos. Don't miss that bit.
No, but you know what?
Before the game, I would have stood next to him.
19.
Listen, man. Hello and welcome. Owen's back, man. We've got Mr. Owen Hargreaves back with us. Back for this episode of Rio Presents. This is the guy, man. It's Mr. Knowledgeable. It's Easter, so you might notice that we're in a little bit of a different setting. So we thought we'd just change it up for you, man. It's bank holiday as well. By the way, getting there, I get trained all the time. Train to work. It was empty, man. Just sitting there, headphones on.
Do you not get any like grief on the train or anything?
No, man. That's why I
get stopped all the time.
No, but I mean like people
all the time.
Like,
all the time.
Sneaky pictures.
All the time.
Sunglasses when it's cloudy. Don't matter the weather.
Right, put the glasses on for a sec.
Show me the glasses.
No, you got them on your shirt there.
Oh yeah, these go on.
Are you looking incognito dressed like that for real?
And the headphones.
With that jacket.
No, exactly. Got this salmon pink on.
This is how most of the time I go, and I normally have a cap.
Mate, are you famous?
Do you know what was good to see though? It's the kids coming up and going, that's the good thing about still doing YouTube and digital.
That's the good thing about FIFA.
They probably think you're a YouTuber, don't they?
Yeah, they just think I'm a content creator. They don't even know if I play football. I'm a content creator now. No, but you know what? It's FIFA. The game FIFA. I'm an icon on the game, and then my card's one of the best. So all the kids use me. It's a joke. And so they say to me, I've got your card. Oh my God.
What about when they say, what pace are you? What pace are you?
Oh, by the way, I found out who you interviewed over the course of the weekend. All right. It was interesting. Like I wasn't there, so I missed it. But just seeing Steve's face, I went and I did my research, and that was a big one, you know.
Ryan Giggs.
Mate, Mr. Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs, man.
Mr. the most decorated player in the Premier League history. Crazy. How was that? How did that go? And when is it coming out as well? Because
it comes out Friday, this Friday. So make sure you get your notifications on, guys, because it's a banger. Like I've got to be honest, I've interviewed some big guys this year. This was one of the ones that I was thinking, wow, and I was quite nervous because you don't hear Giggsy speaking, you don't ever hear him chat, and it was the way he talks about football just reminded me of like our time when you spend with him in the change room. He don't say a lot, but when he does speak, it's worth listening to.
It counts.
Hey, you know, it's funny. So when I signed for United, he obviously the thing is when you sign for a club at United, everybody knows each other, right? Because everyone's kind of known, right? So we were at Bayern and we played at Old Trafford. And I was young and I was coming through, and he probably didn't know who I was, and that I was like quick. So I remember as a kid, I think I was playing on the right wing, he was on the left. And what I used to do, I used to give people a head start. So I think they could get it, and then I just like
Imagine being that quick. You can
then I used to like turbo up. Right, this is true story. So anyway, play at Old Trafford, give him a head start, kicks it, he thinks he's going to get it, and I've zoomed past him. Right, ball's over there. I've looked back. Right, I just looked at him, didn't say nothing. Signed for United like 6-7 years later.
Yeah.
In the dressing room, the first thing he said to me was, "I'll never forget the way you looked at me at Old Trafford."
Wow.
Real talk.
Yeah.
He knew I'd give him a head start, and he said, "I used to do that to people." That's the first thing he said to me. And I had to think like, I didn't say anything. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I was trying to let him know, you know, I'm quick too.
Yeah.
Nice that.
And imagine 7 years later, he was like, "I never forget the way you looked at me." It's true. That's how detailed the guys are.
Did you ask him about CR7 versus Cantona? Because this was a big debate, by the way, right? I just to give people context, right? Who was more impactful at Manchester United? Was that the question?
That wasn't the question.
What was the question?
That's impactful.
Who was more impactful?
The best? Who was the best? Who was the better? Who was the better player?
Who was the better player?
Cantona.
I hate these things, man. Like Messi, Ronaldo, and all that. Why can't we just appreciate generation?
No, we can, but this one has to be answered though, and it's not one of those on the fence stuff. I said Eric Cantona was the most impactful player because he started off the whole.
No, you said the best player.
No, the best individual player is Ronaldo. That's fine.
Yeah, but up to Eric was up to that point without question. But Cristiano went on to win the Ballon d'Or.
I wouldn't even say. I reckon Rooney was a better player than Cantona. But I'm talking impact-wise.
At the time, Eric, unbelievable, wasn't he? But Cristiano, But you got to remember, Cristiano's like what, 6'1", 6'2"?
This is just Ronaldo's mate
40
session.
no, 40 inch vertical, quick, both feet, take free kick. Eric was like a genius.
He was a mythical player.
He probably didn't have as much pace as Cristiano. No. You know what I mean? But I think Eric had this
vision.
But he won the league 4 times in 5 years. Only didn't win it when he kicked the person in the stand.
Did he win the Champions League?
No, it wasn't important back then.
Okay.
But
I asked the same question to Ryan Giggs. Put your notifications on Friday, wait for it, he'll tell you. Guys, there's so much to get through today, but first of all, I want to just kind of go through the competition. We've been running the competition to give away some amazing prizes to our listeners and viewers, and happy to announce the final winners for this season. Reminder to log on to Ferdinand.com for all the latest news and to enter competitions like this. But what I would say, this season, we've given away signed shirts from the likes of David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewandowski, etc. Obviously, and yours truly. But huge congratulations to the following people. I'm going to let Joel read the names out.
All right, so here it is. Congratulations to you winners. You got Andy Teague and Bobby Singh. They've won Kingsley Coman signed Bayern Munich shirt. Well done, mate. Well done for that. That was a good interview as well. Lisa Bailey has won a United shirt signed by Rio. And you've got an Italian shirt signed by Marco Matarazzi, which has been won by Leon Cook. Well done, Leon. Louvrage Gilles, nice name there, and Hannah Gregory have won a United shirt signed by one of the most dominant Premier League defensive partnerships. It's not me and Steve. No, it's Rio and Vidic. So well done with you guys as well. One of the members of our teams will be reaching out. So please make sure you check your emails and hope you enjoy your well-earned prizes. Well done. We got to bring it back to what it is right now. Yes, there was a good Europa League win. Probably one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. Right, Man United last week on Thursday, but we have to focus on the loss against Wolves. I mean, that's Man United's 15th loss this season. You're safe, you're not getting relegated, but what the heck happened on the weekend, man? Like this was like an opportunity to kind of like,
come on, man, all the eggs are in that Europa League basket, aren't they?
He said that. I interviewed him after the game in the Europa game the other day, which was a crazy night of football, but his first comments was like, I'm going to play the kids. Yeah. I'm going to rest everybody.
I think it's a good opportunity to play them as well. To see how much do they go on loan? Can they get some reps for next season? Premier League's finished.
Do you think this is an opportunity for the hierarchy? Is it a message? Amarim going, I ain't got the players, man. Like, what's going on? Is he sending a message? Like,
I think it's subliminal. I think it's also like I'm playing the kids, and behind the scenes, by the way, because I've got nothing else. There's nothing else here. I wouldn't be surprised if he's saying that and going, listen, guys, look at my squad.
No, but for real, if you look at United, right, the biggest issue is goal scoring. If you say you add in Osimhen, Cunha, and Ederson from Atalanta, Man United are different next season.
Osimhen doesn't actually need unreal service. No. He needs some service. Osimhen can score goals on his own.
Can you imagine Cunha, Bruno?
Yeah, sick. I would play. I was sick. It's crazy. I don't know if you watched the pod. I said Osimhen, Cunha, Ederson. I would take. I didn't say him.
He's perfect in a 3-4-3 because he's got crazy legs.
Legs. I know. I like him. But then I like Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
The only thing is dynamism. Maybe might be the lack of him because he's physically he's not.
Him and Kobe are quite similar. The thing, Adam is crazy. He's
vision, man.
He's 2 steps ahead. Like he's reading the game. So you watch him. Ball comes in. He plays around the corner
he's
first
like
time.
Carrick.
Yeah,
a bit like Carrick.
He plays first time back almost as good as anyone. So I would, but I think that system's very niche and you need legs.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting the way you guys analyse Wharton, and I think it's refreshing as well. Like, why is it that he's not been spoken about as much?
He's been injured. He had injury.
Yeah.
And
no disrespect there. Yeah. He plays at Palace.
Yeah. I was going to say
he gets in your team. If Mikel Arteta saw him, he'd be that's my guy.
What, ahead of you?
No, I'm just saying. Say if something happens with Partey,
I'll take him now as a player, mate.
Mate, he's a player.
Back to Man United. We need to win the Europa because you know what? If we don't win the Europa, all these players we're talking about, I doubt they're coming.
Yeah, because
I doubt they're coming.
it's worth up to £85 million for your football club, right? Like, plus there's an extra £10 million because you'll avoid a fine from kit sponsors Adidas, right? Who have that in their clause that is part of their 10-year deal. If you lose 10 mil every season, you're not in the Champions League.
Yeah, but wait.
How crazy.
Yeah,
that is.
but that's I can understand it. You know why? Because the contracts. If you're not in the Champions League, your contract's worth less
As a player.
as a player.
It's like 25% less.
So as much as it is for the club, it's the same for the players. You know, we didn't have that in Germany. That was a thing that I kind of saw.
It wasn't even considered in my time. It might have been in the contract. I never knew about.
You wouldn't even have known,
Because it wasn't
because the clubs are like protecting themselves. So again, I mean, players shouldn't play for money, especially at that level, because pride and stuff. But you know, there's huge incentive for everybody.
Also, when you're recruiting, the first question that's asked by a player or an agent: are you in the Champions League? But obviously, they know that some agents aren't even picking up the phone.
Yeah, but the reason I came to Man United from Bayern Munich was because the history and the prestige. And it was an honour to kind of play for a club that had that history.
Yeah, but you've also got the backdrop of trophies.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. So Sir Alex and trophies and the history is like Man United, the fans, it's like Real Madrid, Bayern. There's a handful of teams.
Would you have gone to United out of the Champions League from Bayern? If we weren't in the Champions League?
No. The problem United have now is, as much as the club has this amazing fan base, there's clubs that are way further ahead in terms of, so before you'd say, I want to go play for United because of Sir Alex. Now they're like, I don't even know what number they'd be in the list. Unless you were a Man United fan, you'd probably go...
Or unless you're a lesser player, because respect to players like Cunha and stuff like that, you're going, oh, he'll be amazing. He's a good player. But Manchester United...
You know, you're judging that on yesteryear, on past times.
Yeah.
Right now,
is he better than what you got?
He's better than what we've got.
Yeah.
Right? He adds value to what we have. So you can't go, oh, you wouldn't have signed in our era. Probably wouldn't have signed him. But this era, where we are right
He
now,
would have been a squad player.
Players are different.
No, I mean, you look at it, and I think my question I wanted to ask as well is, these are key games, Europa League games coming up.
The Europa League semi-finals, them two games are the season rides on those two games.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what's gone on before. The club are now putting all their eggs in that one basket and going, this is make or break time for us.
Those two changes the direction of the whole football club for a year.
They win
Players,
the Europa League and
everybody.
everything changes.
Yeah.
Recruitment changes, aspirations change, the morale of the football club and fans. Like it's a huge game changer. And then
almost priceless, isn't it?
the manager bounces into recruitment season with the Champions League in his pocket, and he can wave that flag around and go, listen guys, we're over here. And by the way, look at the history. Look at the grandeur of this football club. That's what I mean, the selling to a player, I think is easy. Because it's like, do you want to be the game changer?
Yeah.
Do you want to come here and change the fortunes of this club? Because if you do that, you don't realise what you're going to become.
Bit by bit, you're looking at the players who have been offered that, they've come through the door and it's not really worked out.
You've got to find a player that's got broad enough shoulders who thinks that I take this on. Not a player that comes in and goes, you know what, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
I think as long as I've got the right people, I think I can. You need a player that can go, like a Cantona when he came.
Yeah, but you know who
it.
was one of the only ones to kind of survive this whole, if you look back,
Bruno.
Van Gaal, Bruno for sure. But, Mourinho, Van Gaal, in the end, pretty much, it hasn't worked out for anyone, mostly in players as well. Do you know who's the only one that actually survived? Who? With Bruno? Zlatan.
Yeah.
And why?
But he was
Shoulders.
And why? He has a great point. Personality.
Right now, for the last few years, I'm not investing in just pure talent. I'm investing in people, characters, personalities who I know can take on that mantle and the responsibility that comes with this football club. The expectations, the demands, standards. Forget skill.
Yeah.
We've got characters in there that when the going gets tough, the heads don't go like tortoises.
You can't show your skill if you don't fight, can you?
Yeah. So it's those other components. Like that's why I look at the recruitment and that we're buying talent and skill and
crazy.
I know.
But it's a crazy thing when you can outplay somebody, who's probably got more talent than you in a game like that, and then everybody sees it. That's really powerful. Like Deck coming off those two games, even his teammates will be looking at him just different. They'll be going, "Whoa, my man!"
Declan will be walking around the streets of London or anywhere right now, feeling like a G. He'll be feeling like, he'll be going, yeah, man, talk to me. Was there any game, what game was it for you in your career that you went, I knew I was good, yeah, But this catapulted me into going, I can sit amongst the top boys.
No, my first big game was a semi-final against Real Madrid.
How old did you?
19. And I played Figo. I remember standing in the tunnel next to Figo. He had the white kit on, the hair slicked back. He looked, I swear to God, right? Before
Giorgio
the game,
Armani model.
yeah, and I stood there, right? Scruffy little kid. I remember looked at him and thought, he's glowing. He looks like God. I swear. And I remember thinking, right, I didn't obviously say it to anybody, but I remember thinking, I'm in trouble there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna get.
Do you think that in the tunnel?
Yeah, look at
Ooh.
him. Right, I'm 19, right? I'm on a U team
Baggy
contract.
kit, skinny.
I'm on a U team contract, right?
What? £100 a week?
Yeah, and I remember, anyway, getting to the game, he wouldn't even know who I was, right? And I remember like 5 minutes into the game, like he was mad baller, wasn't he? And he like he stood me up like thinking I'm gonna cook this kid. And he left it just kind of like 5 yards away from me. And I never ever forget, I just remember looking at them both thinking, you can't leave that there.
Yeah.
Gone. Sprinted past him, sprinted past Roberto Carlos, 5 minutes into the game. The whole moment changed my whole career.
Wait. Just
Changed my whole career because
Wait.
I remember thinking, whoa, I can actually do this.
Wait, Rio wants you to rewind.
Wait. Man, he just said he took the ball off Luis Figo. I think it was a world record fee, one of the
At the time, 40 million.
right?
Yeah.
It was the most expensive player.
And then ran past Roberto Carlos. Don't miss that bit.
No, but you know what? Before the game, I would have stood next to him.
19.
I would have thought, I probably can't. I'm out of my depth. Yeah, probably. Because you think when you look at these guys. But what I learned was once I get in the game, there's one ball, there's 22 guys, it's game on. And I learned after that not to underestimate myself. Obviously, they're way better players than you. But when we get out there, you got a chance like Deck did to go, right, let's have it. If I fail, I fail. But in the end, the most important thing is when you get out there, you got to have it. That's the most important thing.
You vamos the crowd. But I wanna stick on this topic because it's all about personality, is what you're saying. Casemiro in these latter games, how important is it going to be to rely on his experience? He's one of the players that was rested yesterday, so there's obviously a plan for him to be ready for the Bilbao game.
Yeah, but he the last game, when the chips are down, who turned up? He gets the penalty.
Yeah.
2 assists, the 2 last goals he set them up, both of them. And that's not even his game, by the way. But sometimes there's a moment in some games where it's down to me. And there's only certain players that can do that. He's one of them right now with Man United. He's done that. He's produced it. We looked at Bruno the whole time, and it's normally been him.
Yeah, Bruno needs help, doesn't he?
Yeah, you need some backup people to do that. And Casemiro has the experience. He has the quality. I think there's some players in football, especially as you get older, where you need the system and the team to help you. And I think they found that way of playing. That's actually the spaces aren't as big as they were looking earlier in the season around him.
And it's actually better, I think, now that you wouldn't really play Casemiro and Bruno in the 2 because he plays 2 centre-mids, doesn't he? So I think actually now Casemiro, Ugarte in there, or Kobe, and then Garnacho, Fernandes.
The extra legs helps
The
him.
balance is better. Dallo playing as a right wing back, Dorgu as left wing. I just think the whole thing, it took a bit of time to figure it out, but I do think you can't underestimate experience. So Casemiro's been there, hasn't he?
So then what you're saying, you can't underestimate the experience, but what is the importance? How would you put that in words? Like, you've played with players where you look around,
do you know what
talk
it is?
about Giggsy.
You know what it is? It's understanding the little moments and details and timing and distances of when to go, how quick you go. Do you know what I mean? Delaying the moment to go. Like you don't get that as a kid. Very, very few kids understand when that is. You grow into that. He's obviously seen these moments year in, year out for so many years. Those little details will come up and pay trumps in the big moments.
But you know what I think also? Like Casemiro's had a crazy career. Okay, he's not at his peak anymore. But I think you only really know football players when it's difficult.
Yeah.
And that means you got to find a way to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. Because football is a roller coaster, right? And it's hard. And when you're down and you're struggling like United are, you need guys that are actually can hang in there when it's hard. And I think that is one of the most important things for any player. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that means even when you're stressed, you have a bit of whatever it is, you're struggling with your confidence. Can you hang in there to get to a better moment? Look, he was dropped. Now he's back in the team, he's central to it. And I think Casemiro is comfortable in his own skin.
He's a professional.
He's a pro, and he's comfortable when it gets hard. And he can put his shoulders out and go, right, I'm going to hang in there. And I think that's priceless for any player.
But you have to when the lights aren't on, you've got to do your stuff. Your training, your eating, your rest, your prep.
But we had a great culture, didn't we?
Yeah.
Nobody cut corners, training, gym. We had a laugh, by the way. We had a lot of fun, trust me. But when it came down to it, boys were there. He's funny. He's got an amazing personality. He used to moan like mad at everyone, training every day. And that's like demands on each other.
Because talking of relationships, my point is as well, is like the Man United attacking in an attacking sense, they don't seem like they've got relationships anywhere. Giggsy spoke really well about it as well, in that like someone like Hojlund has got to get hold of the wingers and say, this is what I need. When you're in these positions, this is what I would like. Or actually, Garnacho going, when I get to the byline, I haven't got a finesse left foot. I've not got one where I can clip it to the back post with my left foot. I ain't got that club in the bag, but I can drive it across the face of goal or cut it back like he did against Wolves the other day a couple of times. But then Hojlund can read where he's going to go, because at the moment it don't seem like he can read or know where. Sometimes he's front, sometimes he's back, sometimes he's middle, and he doesn't know where it's coming. Frustration.
But I do think, as much as he needs better service without question, also at some point he also needs to start scoring more, and he'll score more if he's running onto things more. I think the moments where you see him struggle a little bit is back to play. Okay, so don't put yourself in that spot all the time.
But it's
spin.
Someone not telling him.
I don't know, but spin. The guy is one of the quickest players in Europe, by the way.
Yeah,
He runs 100 meters in like 11 seconds, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah, mate.
You don't like it.
Did you
Spin and take Garnacho and Bruno. Mate, clip it into there. I'll go get it.
Yeah,
and then he's run onto it, and then he can finish.
Did you
and
watch
then
the
you
game?
can't. Which one?
The Wolves game.
Yeah.
Did you see when he actually battled the defender and he won it for once, and then it was him running down the line? I thought, man, I didn't know he was that quick, Rio.
But you know that
But a lot of his confidence is where his confidence is
But
down.
also, again, I think that's down to coaching. Like, you've got that, you are quick, right? But we're not seeing it. So then let's take it back. Let's put yourselves in positions to show your best attributes.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're seeing far too many of your weakest attributes. Like Owen says, back to play, trying to fight defenders. No. You need to free yourself up from any contact and start running.
100%.
But also goes back to, again, relationships or communication. When Dallo gets it, or when Dorgu gets it, or when Bruno gets it, don't forget coming to feet, come short, just get in behind, because that's much easier for you in your game than coming short and trying to link play. It's not your game.
But do you know who he should model himself on? Who used to, when he was at Dortmund, I thought he was the best.
Aubameyang.
No, Lewandowski. Right? He wouldn't stand really against the centre back. He'd stand off him. When it came into him, into the striker, set
And go.
one time and spin. Problem, he gets caught all the time, doesn't he? Really? Takes too many touches, and he's trying to fight the defender. Mate, don't worry about him.
Yeah.
Just set it in spin. And when he takes 2 and 3 touches, it's when he gets caught, because he keeps it under his feet.
This is coaching.
Mate, just set it. It comes in, set, spin.
Simplify. That's the one big thing I would say to any player that's actually struggling for confidence.
Do what you're good at.
Strip it back, simplify your game, and do what has got you there.
Do you remember when John Stones, when he went through that spell and he looked like he might not make it at the level? Do you remember?
When he was at Everton or
No, at City. Do you remember? He was struggling a bit. And everybody said, he's just got to simplify his game.
Yeah.
Not play the risky ball into midfield, do all the mad turns. Get a bit of confidence, play 20 games at a level, and then show what you got. Hojlund's the same. Simplify it, and then you can show what you got. I think he'll be a 20-goal striker, easy.
I was actually going to say, Owen, how concerned are you about him? When you said, do you think you're saying?
I worry about him more mentally. Right now. What this can do to a player, can he recover?
It's very hard for a young kid to go through that.
I think Man United have done a disservice to him. As much as he hasn't played well and scored the goals, but whenever as a massive club, other than a superstar player, which he's not in that bracket, like a Rooney, ever been able to come in and hit the ground running and say you're going to play 30 games a season, 35 games a season, and expect you to lead the line. Rooney came in, Van Nistelrooy was number 1 striker.
Yeah.
He's backup dancer. Hojlund's come in and expect to be number 1, £75 million player. All of this pressure on his shoulder, it's not. I don't think it's been fair on him.
But no, it's not. But look, go back, rewind 5 years. Martial, Marcus. It's not fair on these young kids to put 19, 20 years old to say, be the leader for Manchester United.
They came in.
You're not ready for when you're 19.
No, but they came in. Who was playing? Rooney's there.
Yeah, but
Zlatan's there.
I know, but once they left and they were still young when Anthony and Marcus, 21 years old. Can you be the focal point man? I think it's a lot of pressure.
That's been an
and
issue.
I think Hojlund's in the same spot. It's like they would have been. What would they have been in our team?
Who?
Any of those boys.
Hojlund.
Who was our fourth striker in that time when we won the Champions League?
Saha.
Yeah, and Welbs.
Welbs.
fifth.
Yeah, a kid Welbs.
So you they're getting mentored. So you got Cristiano, you got Waza, Tevez, and
Louis Saha.
And then you got them in the background watching, learning, and they learn the ropes. And then when the guys leave, they take on more responsibility. Hojlund probably needs to be like the second or third.
Yeah. He's not the one you're worrying about. You guys need to. You're probably going to end up playing Obi more as well, and that's another one that could be. I like him as well, but that's another example.
But he's still another 2 years minimum.
Exactly.
It needs an Osimhen, Hojlund, Obi.
Next year.
Is that enough though?
Because it's not about that. It's not about that. You got to bring the next generation through.
Yeah, but where United are at the moment, Osimhen, Obi.
No, maybe not. But
Osimhen with Hojlund as backup I'm happy with that.
Good, yeah. But the days of having 4 strikers is gone.
Yeah, no, we understand.
You know, at United and all that's gone. So I think Osimhen, Cunha, I like that, and then maybe a centre mid. I do think it's.
If you're going to invest, if you're going to invest in an Obi, who was courted by every club in Europe, every top club wanted him, right? If you're going to invest in him, you need to get your number one striker right, because he's going to suffer without the number one striker there, because he's not looking at Hojlund with any you
don't want the same thing to happen to him. It's what happens to Hojlund.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of that's it is the club also. They hoped he would come in and hit the ground running. He hasn't, because the team has struggled, and I do think it's not. I worry about him as well. I know what it's like when you're getting criticised like that as a player. It's hard. It's the hardest place to be.
So are you confident then that you're going to be able to go and beat Atletico Bilbao? Because
even
this weekend, they've gone into the game with the best defensive record, conceding 25 goals in 31 games.
In La Liga.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough game. Definitely a huge game. I've been to Bilbao, played there, got beat there. Tough place to go. Really good fans. But this is a really good team. They're a really, really solid team. But Man United, I think they can win. They have players. Bruno's a game changer. I don't care. When he's playing for Man United, gives Man United a chance.
Garnacho's a game changer.
Garnacho can change the
Casemiro's
game.
been there and done it.
Casemiro last game. They got players who can win the game. But like I've said before, every game this season, I don't know what Man United is going to turn up.
I'll be honest, this is going to sound crazy. It doesn't have to do with football. You just got to enjoy the fact that there's a lot of pressure, and you got to go out and you got to go for it. Forget.
What did you say? Enjoy.
Yeah, man. You got to enjoy.
Yeah, you got to enjoy
Be
it,
comfortable being uncomfortable, man. That's football.
Do you know that feeling of going to Liverpool when he was trying to win the league, and the hate that's coming out of the stand?
You got to enjoy it when it's hard.
You enjoy it too much, and Nico Williams causes you lots of big problems.
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
No, you got to enjoy that.
No, but you know what? He's a problem for real. But the point is, somebody should see that and go, "Well, Nico's a player.
That's my job.
Let's go 1v1. Let's see what you got. You might lose.
True.
But let's see what you got."
Because that's what's going to happen. That's going to be the key battles at your team. PSG versus Arsenal.
Right.
Then 1v1 battle. Mendes versus Saka. That might decide the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That battle there.
And if you lock up Nico Williams, which I know is hard, then your career changes in the blink of an eye, like Deck at the Bernabeu. So
Every game's an opportunity.
Enjoy the fact it's an opportunity. Don't see it as a negative.
Every matchup's an opportunity to really propel yourself.
You
That's
gotta enjoy-
Declan.
Declan's
a great example.
You got to enjoy the grind, don't you?
Declan was under the top table. Now people looking at him like he's at the top table.
Come to the chef's table.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm happy about that.
Right, let's get on to Arsenal. What do you think about their Champions League win in Madrid?
Oh, Declan. How good was Declan? Who would have thought before those 2 legs he'd be the best player in both games?
Don't you think, that Jude and Deck thing looked a little bit personal from, because remember from like the World Cup, there was all these rumours that they weren't getting along and stuff, That looked like that was...
Do you know what I think it is? It's 2 competitors who want to be the best. And they know they're in direct competition almost, or for that game at least. And it was like, who's going to come out on top? And that's why there was a bit of needle, but I like that.
You need that.
You need it.
We used to train like that, didn't we?
Yeah. Before them 2 games, I guarantee you probably 8 to 9 out of 10 people go, immediately Jude's better.
Yeah.
Jude's better. After them 2 games now,
Yeah.
if it's not 50-50, it's swayed into Declan's favour as being the better player from people's eyes, if you're just talking to the general fan.
And that's what I think that type of game or pressure can do for you, because you can actually play better than your natural level, don't you think? And you go in, and some people get worse, but I think the ones like Deck, they actually enjoy it. Imagine over 2 legs being the best player from all those players.
Both players.
Vinny Jr. and back.
All the players on the pitch. It amplifies you You don't have. That's probably not even his best games this season, but it's amplified him like no end.
Can't lie.
But do you know what it also proves? That football is not just all about technical stuff.
Mindset, isn't it?
You got to run, you got to tackle. Do you know what I mean? In that first leg, they ran 10k more?
Yeah, as a
10k
team.
more in one game.
I was saying to Rio, I reckon Thomas Partey not playing in the first leg is a massive miss.
Yeah, probably. But who would have thought Kiwior will step in and just play like...
Yeah, he said he reckons we got enough to...
definitely.
But I'm like, Thomas Partey, bro.
Who does he play there? Who does he play?
This is what I'm saying. He's probably going to have to play
Jorginho's
Marino there. No, he's going to have to... Jorginho's not there. He's injured. He's going to have to play Marino back.
That's Marino's position, really,
That's
isn't
his
it?
own
And
position,
then they'll put Trossard as a false nine.
Look at him yesterday.
Bro, that's Ipswich, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Them guys are on holiday, and so are we. And we played
The
them.
problem is, you know what I think is going to be the biggest problem, not the biggest difference for the game, compared to Ipswich. Forget quality, it's the territorial advantage. I think PSG will dominate the ball.
But that's how they win. Do you know how much possession they had in the second game?
Who them?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's different. There's a different type of team though.
No, I know, but look at the teams that all won in Europe this week. Everybody had 40% possession. Inter, Arsenal. You don't win them games with 70% possession. Even Tottenham did it in Europa League on the Thursday. You'll win if the less possession you have, because they'll play on you. Look at in Madrid.
Yeah, but do you
two set pieces in the first leg. Second one you score, and then the third one, but the second goal counter attack space.
Do you think? So, but I look at it as well the way against Liverpool. Liverpool do that. They can do that as well. Yeah, they just shut down Salah. You shut down your main man, and that's going to be a key battle. Saka, Mendes. Mendes been probably the best performing left back in the world this year.
I think he's
that goal from Saka though.
Saka's was joke.
The football was beautiful.
Do you know what I loved about Saka's goal? It wasn't even the goal. The goal was great. It's the icing on the cake there, cherry on top. It was the interview in the question in the press conference before. How far away are you from Mbappe and Vinicius? And he went, pardon, sorry? And then scored,
I didn't see
scored
that.
the goal.
But
do you know what I like about it? I like when you see it on the wide angle. He starts wide.
He drifts in.
And he knew what was coming, didn't he?
Instinctive, isn't it?
And do you know what's amazing? That Saka played like that after being out that long.
It's a joke.
He's only played 3. By that time, he had only played like 3 games.
That's hard, by the way. When you've been out of the game with a big injury like that.
Not many people. I don't remember many people who hit the ground running immediately like that. Do you know how much scared? I used to be scared coming back off an injury or a bang.
Yeah.
Hamstring's the worst one.
Because
you're thinking...
I'm not in the rhythm, and physically, I don't know where I am.
Do you know what about when I watch Saka dribble? He dribbles so unique. I say to my son all the time, "But slow down." You know, you see a lot of wingers back in the day, everyone's sprinting, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like Saka's like sets people. He's waiting and he gets you up out and then he shifts it.
He stops and starts you a little bit.
You know what he's going to do? You just can't stop it.
No, do you know what? I used to think that he used to make me believe I knew what he was going to do because he was quite predictable. Always come in.
Yeah.
You see the Ipswich game?
He's got better going the other way, hasn't he?
Outside, boom, cross.
Yeah.
Like could have had 2 or 3 goals more than they had because of that. He's a bit more unpredictable. That's what I've always said that. Once he balances that left or right and goes like almost 50-50, 60-40, he's different proposition altogether.
I reckon now after that, as much Arsenal won't want to hear that. Real will be looking, right, he can play for us.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know
if he comes, but this is the thing though, if he comes, Real Madrid would be thinking they got an upgrade.
On the players they got.
I haven't seen him smart so much.
I'm just saying, they would.
No, that's harsh. Rodrigo's a proper...
No, I'm not saying, but I'm saying, would they or not see it as their fans would celebrate? They'll go, yeah, we got, you know.
I'd like to. I don't think it's as easy as you're making that. If you was to go, listen, you can go and buy Saka for 120 now, 130, whatever it is.
At least that.
Yeah, and get rid of Rodrigo. I don't know if that will definitely be something they'd take.
No, there's a sentimental attachment, but.
It's sentimental is when you're finished and it's just like, oh, he's done a few things.
He still got some work to do at Arsenal though, for like 3 or 4 years, win the Premier League. Look at Trent. You know, that's how, in a way.
That's a way to leave.
No, I know, but in a way, you win the league, win the Champions League, 27, like Cristiano left, didn't it? And then you go there, and then it's the next step, you test yourself. I could see Saka doing that in when he's like 26.
Yeah, and it cannot be in England. I don't think it's going to be in England. Like the more and more I see
Saka,
him, definitely not in England. It will be a Real Madrid. I think
that's what I mean. It's Barca and Real. That's it.
So who do you think semi-final? Champions League. We're talking Champions League team here. Arsenal. Can they win it?
Yeah, I think we get to the final. I think we definitely get to the final against PSG. I think beating them earlier on the season is key. Like they're a different team, but psychologically we know we can beat them. I still reckon Barcelona beat Inter.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a clash of two styles, isn't it? Inter calls out the ball. Barca have loads of the ball in that mad high line. I honestly couldn't flip a coin.
I fancy Inter to get to the
I
final.
think Barca PSG.
Do you? Barca PSG? So you think PSG beat these boys?
This year, they look ready. But I do think if you look at historically, you got to take steps. I think semi-final's still amazing. They could do it, definitely. But I think PSG have been in this spot a little bit more.
With this current team, though, this is a new team. And on top of that as well, like when you look at PSG, they got a bigger squad, which I do think is massive. I think we're really thin. Like, that's why I keep going on about this party, yellow card. That gave me a heart attack, bro.
Imagine you had Gabriel and Havertz.
We've got, those are key players like that, Don't get me wrong, Lewis Skelly, all these guys playing fantastic, but bro, who have we got to come off the bench?
It's a great matchup, Arsenal versus PSG. You've got two fullbacks who can handle 1v1 situations.
Yeah, but they got the two best fullbacks in the game.
And they've got two great fullbacks that can handle 1v1
Right now,
situations.
they got the two best in the Champions League.
I can't lie.
Mendes and Hakimi. And that's what I mean. They got Hakimi, Marquinhos, Donnarumma. They got guys who've been doing it just a fraction longer.
They've got the experience. The difference they got experienced players that know, and they all know how to win. Even though you say it's in their league, it's fine, but they all win.
What about Barcola and Doué? Mate, Doué looks like he's got rockets in his shoes.
The Georgian guys are jokers as well.
Kvaratskhelia. Mate, he's different.
They're wingers. That's what I'm saying. They got depth. If they
and the midfield three are crazy.
Vitinha, my man couldn't even get in at Wolves. He weren't playing at Wolves.
Do you know who he plays like? Plays like Modric.
He's Modric. He reincarnated. Unreal. Did we ever think we'd see a Modric again? I didn't. And one turns up while he's still playing.
Neves is unbelievable.
Neves is sick.
Ruiz is
you know what I think
player.
they've got the best blend of midfield in the game right now. The best blend. Ruiz.
The back four is crazy good.
Yeah.
Fullbacks are unbelievable. The midfield three complement each other. And up top they got pace. Pace and skill.
Pace and skill. Do you know what I like about them? They've got two wingers, or three out of their wingers, who will turn and face the fullback and tell him 1v1, let's go, every time they get the ball.
Do it looking at people like, you can't stop me.
Yeah. Doué's playing in goals on the Champions League stage.
It's crazy.
It's a joke.
It's crazy.
But I do think you can win. You remember the number, 40% possession. If you have that, I think you win.
Yeah, I think you win through suffering.
Yeah,
you've got to suffer.
Counter-attack.
We've got to really...
You've got the best defence. That's how you win. That's how you beat Real.
I'm going PSG into final.
That's what I think. I'm going PSG Barca because I
think it's the best final.
Hansi Flick with that high line and that front three.
They get hurt in the final by PSG.
Yeah, but we said that about Bayern. He won 6 trophies that year.
Ooh, no.
Flick.
No, but
Hansi's the real deal, by the way.
No, I love him.
He took over that Barca team, which was a train wreck.
Yeah.
I just like the way he's handling them.
Rafinha's up for the Ballon d'Or.
I still...
Yamal,
crazy.
Yeah. Lewandowski, Pedri,
Madness.
De Jong.
They're bad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're bad.
All four teams
I just
are
think the
wicked.
structure and the style of football and the system, the interplay could cause mad problems for
I was
Barca.
telling Rio, I believe if we could double check, but for the first leg, Lewandowski's out though.
Is it?
Yeah. And if that is what it is...
Yeah, but they just pop in Dani Olmo.
Danny Olmo.
Don't get me wrong. He's been good as well.
Yeah, exactly. How many more we want to get out?
Crazy, isn't it, when you think about it?
Really quickly, thank you very much, by the way. I thought after that game, immediately, I saw the tweets. You said we need to check Miles's ID. You said Saka's, you saw world class in that. Was that the moment you had been waiting for, would you say?
I think he would have, that question he got asked in the press conference about, how far away are you from Vinicius and Mbappe, etc., right? In his mind, he's sitting there going, I think I'm at that table.
Took him courage to reply like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you still got to go in that game and show him and say, no, right, ask me that question again now. Because I think his answer's different now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think he's got the chest is out and going, well, what I've done the other day should tell you, because them man didn't score. I did. And I won the game for my team, and I won 2 free kicks, by the way. The other day.
That game will change pretty much everybody's career.
Yeah.
It's true.
And the clubs and Arsenal. They changed who they recruit this summer, changed how they're perceived. And you need that. When you start, I had that game against Luis Figo. Those boys, as much as they've achieved in the game, they added an extra layer onto that going on the Bernabeu, beating the Champions League winners.
Does it change? Does it have the continued positive impact into the summer, etc., if they get beat by PSG?
Yeah, because they're a step further than they were last year when they got knocked out against Arsenal. They're building. It takes time to get there.
And we've beaten them home and away, by the way. And let's be honest with you, our fans gas a lot in it. Like, so that for some fans, that's like the final.
There's no shame.
I'm not saying
Steve McManaman said something really funny. Like, he didn't say it on air, but he said it off air. He said, and everyone was gassing, and Arteta had been at the table talking to some TNT and blah blah. Martin Keown was going waxing lyrical, going mad. Yeah, what great this, that, and I was probably getting carried away too. And I remember Steve McManaman won the Champions League twice.
Twice, by the way.
At Real Madrid, said, "Guys, it's the quarterfinal. Settle down." And I went, you know what? All right, I get what you're saying. But what's football if you can't get carried away? Do you know what I mean?
You got to enjoy the moments, but you can't get too carried away. I always think you could tell the ones. This can be a bit raw, but you can tell the ones that over celebrate.
They ain't done it.
Yeah, and they over celebrate. And you think, my man, you got to pretend like you're going to be here next year. But don't like. You know what I mean? It's a quarter.
But that's the thing that it wrangles me a little bit. Yeah, I never got carried away until we won. Yeah, but I sit there and think, I wish I had once I've retired.
Yeah, me too. I didn't enjoy it enough, but I think that's my only regret. I didn't enjoy it enough because you're so focused.
That's what made you guys winners.
Yeah.
I'll be real. That's what made you guys winners.
100%.
Me and Steve always say one thing: when Liverpool won the title, right, and during the COVID period. We both looked at their players and we said the same thing here. We said, these guys look like they're enjoying it a little bit too much. And surprise, surprise, with you guys, and even if you look at like Arsene Wenger's teams or Jose's teams, you could tell that they were going to be in the running next year. Yeah. Like really challenging. That team looked like, oh, mate, it's been 25, 30 years. We've done it now and we're chilling, you know. That leads me on to say, are we not going to like talk about Liverpool a little bit? Obviously, you got Trent with the celebration. They're like what?
Do you know what? I watched that game, yeah. I was really happy for Trent. I was so happy because
he's been in the gym though, hasn't he?
He looked like he'd been in the gym, knew that time was coming. Yeah. His six-pack was out and everything, yeah. But I just thought, my man's been getting grilled. Like, and I said that I've seen a lot of fans say, just because he said that I'm a red forever or whatever, things can change, man. The landscape can change. And I think this was only going to happen if it was Real Madrid. Yeah. I don't think he was leaving Liverpool unless it was Real Madrid. And you have to respect that, man. And I think that what he's given to Liverpool over the years, for fans to be... And what was nice yesterday is that I don't think there was a person in that crowd in the away end at Leicester that wasn't cheering and going mad when he scored that goal and actually celebrating with and for him. Which is, I think, for him, would have been really, really satisfying because I think he'd have had some doubts thinking... I don't know if they're going to cheer me, you know. And it was really nice to see that. I don't know if
he cared. He just, what great technique, by the way.
Oh, crazy.
No, but I think definitely emotionally, I think he would have been.
You could tell he cared by the way in his eyes. But to think he was an academy boy, comes to won the Premier League, Champions League, what he's been able to achieve, one of the best passes the game's ever seen, and then Real Madrid are knocking on your door.
Gotta go, bro.
Look, Cristiano left us, and we are probably one of the best teams ever. Yeah. Why? Because he wanted to try another thing. Trent wants to try. Right? You got to respect that. I think the only thing probably the Liverpool fans have, and this might not be his fault, by the way, because they changed him, the sporting director and all that, the fact that he's leaving on a free. They probably thought if they got a bit of money in for him.
They didn't pay a penny for him.
But that's not his fault. And I do understand. I'm sure if he had the chance, he would have said, all right, you guys buy me so that, you know, there's money.
The club gets 20 mil or whatever.
Exactly.
The only problem I think he's had is that where the fans are upset. No communication leads to grey areas and hysteria. That's what's that. If he'd come out and just gone, bang, this is the situation, leaving the end of the season.
But really, he probably didn't know. Look, Salah and Van Dijk just been done a couple of weeks ago.
I'm saying I agree with you. But I'm saying if all was in the right place and he knows what he's doing, he's got a contract on the side over there with Real Madrid. I think you should have just come out and just spoke and said it.
I don't agree with you because I think if you look at the way Virgil's dealt with it and how he's dealt with it, it's different. Whereas Virgil's, we didn't know what was going to happen, but Virgil made it clear, this is where my heart is at. You know,
I don't know if he did he?
I think.
I don't think he
did. I don't think Virgil's ever come out and gone, I'm staying. I want to stay at
The
the club.
only
So
problem.
what's the difference then? Why are they giving him the extra hard time then?
Who?
If it's the same.
No, because the rumours are that Trent's leaving and going to Real Madrid. There wasn't ever a definitive like Virgil's going to PSG or Mo's going Santo. It was always like, we don't know if they're staying or not.
Whereas Salah's been in the same
as Salah though. Salah's was like, it weren't like he's definitely going Saudi or he's definitely going here.
And Trent's what? Probably he's a lot younger, isn't he? So he's got a lot more.
I guess so.
I think those guys are maybe more towards the end, but
He's homegrown as well, and I think that's been the
I
thing.
think he's been able to achieve there.
Sorry to bring it up, but did you see when Saka was asked the same question the other day about it and he answered directly?
What did he say?
Oh, yeah.
He said, and this is directly from him, he goes, everybody knows where my heart is at. You know, if I get the opportunity, this is where I want to be.
So
That's
Arsenal,
cool though. I respect
to stay
that.
at Arsenal.
Yeah.
But Trent said that, and I think that's a lot of people's problem. Trent said that, I'm going to be Liverpool to the end, basically. I think that's what he basically said. And because now he's going, everyone's going, you can't go back on that. Well, everyone in our lives has said something and gone back on it.
Yeah.
Why has he got to be different?
And the thing is as well, say Arsenal win 3 Premier Leagues in Champions League, maybe when he's 27, he might be thinking, do you know, even for myself and for my family, it might be nice to have a change of scenery. You know, and there's no shame in that.
I wish.
Football changes real quick.
John Barnes said to me when I was really young, he said, listen, don't do what I've done and miss the opportunity to go. Because that's one thing that I do regret. That's what he says. He said to me, like, going abroad, he had a chance to go to Italy or wherever he could have gone, and he didn't do it. He said, listen, that's one thing he thinks that I wish I'd have done.
Look at Scott McTominay in Napoli.
Yeah, look at his life's changed.
Mate. Scott.
Yeah, just unreal. And that's one thing I do regret. I do regret that. It's weird. I regret it and I don't regret it because I've done so well at Man United and I kept winning. But some parts of me, when I go Bernabeu, when you go to Camp Nou, when you go to the Allianz Arena, I do sometimes think, I wish I'd have just gone and it's also done a two year stretch.
And it's amazing to do it, say at an Arsenal, United or Liverpool, but then to say you've been able to do it there, there and there.
It's crazy.
It's quite rare. Jude, yeah.
Mad.
Yeah. But his is different though, isn't it? He's like a star.
Yeah,
But anyway, look, guys, thank you very much. It's been an interesting chat. None of us will win the league. Definitely you lot.
You might win the Champions League though.
Yeah, you never know.
Europa League.
Europa League. May not win the Europa
Couple of trophies.
Crazy.
But don't forget Friday, guys. The Ryan Giggs interview's dropping. Be ready. Notifications on. Tell a friend. Sit back and watch it.
Did you really ask him about CR7 and Cantona?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Wait for the answer.
Wait and see it.
Also, his five-a-side team ain't bad either.
Is it?
You ain't in.
Wait and see, guys.
Guys, Joel Bayer, Rio Ferdinand, and the great Mr. Owen Hargreaves. Signing out. Peace.
Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode of Rio Reacts. Hope you've enjoyed this show. And if you have, make sure you leave us a review and follow this Rio Ferdinand Presents feed to make sure you never, ever miss an episode. If you've got a point you think we should be discussing or want to put us on the spot with a question you want answering, get in touch using the fans first at rioferdinandpresents.com email address or use #RFP on social. See ya on the next one.